Hello everyone, welcome again to CoFX. Today we're going to be talking about leverage. So what is leverage? Leverage is how much more of your capital that you can use to trade. How much more than your equity than you can use to trade. So what are we talking about here? For instance, you have $10, but you're using a leverage of 1:1. It means the maximum position you can open is that is worth only $10. But assuming you're using a leverage of 1:2, it means you can open a position worth $20 because your leverage is 1:2. So your broker borrows you another $10 to make it $20 so that you can open positions worth $20. Now in this account, the leverage is 1:1000. So what does this mean? It means if I open a position that is supposed to be worth $1000, I can use a $1 of my equity to open the position that is worth $1000. It means my margin when I'm using a high leverage account will be small compared to the margin when I'm using a lower leverage account. For instance, assuming the margin that is supposed to be $1000, what will be taken from my account is going to be $1 because I'm using a 1:1000 leverage account now in this trade. So it means it's going to help to increase my margin level, but you don't it's like a trap anyway. If you use all your leverage, because I have 1:1000 does not mean I'm going to open a position that is worth 1000 times my equity. For instance, assuming my equity is $10 and I'm using a 1:1000, it means I can open positions worth $10,000. But does it mean that I should open a position worth $10,000 just because I can? No. If I try it, only small move against me will wipe my account. So now I'm not supposed to open a position that is worth 10,000 because I can use 10,000 to trade. What we are seeing here is leverage can help, it can kill your account too. So you need your real leverage is actually what you're using to trade. I know that the leverage on this account is 1:1000, but my real leverage is not even up to 1:20. No, it's not even up to 1:20. So you can use 5 1:5, you can use 1:10, you can use 1:20. Your real leverage is how much of the amount you're using to place a trade. For instance, in this account, my my real leverage is how much I have placed, how much I have taken out of my account, how much is the size. What I mean is how much is the size of the positions I've opened. How much is the size of the positions I've opened? So for instance, if I open a position that is worth let me say I have an equity that is $10 and I'm using a leverage of 1:1000, it means I can open a position that is worth 10,000. That is good. But if I open a position that is worth 1000, it means the real leverage I'm using is 1:100. I'm not banking on all those leverage that is about 1:1000. I'm only opening a position that is worth 1000 out from a $10 account. It means I'm using the real leverage I'm actually using for that position is 1:100, but actually I can open 1:10,000. But I decide not to do so because if I do so, I will quickly go out of opportunities to open more trade if I run loss. This means my account will be blown and I will approach the stop out level. So how does leverage affect your trading? We just said it, you don't use all your leverage. Secondly, like we say, high leverage reduces the margin, so it can help to increase the margin level and keep you in the markets for a longer time. Certainly, we've also said how it increases your margin level, so it will keep you in the markets for a longer time. This means assuming my margin was 100 in this trade, as you can see on the screen, assuming the margin as you're seeing here, that is $1,326, assuming it is not a 1:1000 leveraged account, maybe I'm using 1:10, my margin would have been 132,635 USD. That would have been my margin if I was using a 1:10 leverage account. And if my margin is that huge, it means my margin level would have reduced. As a matter of fact, my margin level would have been 78.9. It means by now I would have gotten a margin call. That is the truth. If I was using a 1:10 leverage account, by now I would have gotten a margin call, because you get a margin call, hence your margin level approaches 100. When it is 100 on this broker, you will get a margin call, and you will get a stop at on most brokers. When it gets to 50%, mainly it gets to 50%, you get a stop out. So what are we saying? I am on this trade and I'm surviving for a long time on this trade, even making 3,268 USD on this trade, because I'm using a 1:1000 leveraged account. But if I was using a 1:100 or a 1:10, let's say I was using a 1:10 leverage account, I wouldn't have been able to survive on this page, on this trade, or even open all these positions with these lot sizes. No, I wouldn't have been able to open these positions. But because my margin level is still far, it's still about 7,895, I am safe. Because like I say, you get a margin call when it is 100. Imagine the distance between 7,894 to 100. So you can say I am safe in this trade, and if my profits continues to increase, my margin level will continue to increase, because it's just a ratio of equity and margin multiplied by 100. So what we are saying is, leverage can be good. It can keep you in the trade for a long time. That's what all I've been trying to explain with all the mathematics. If I was using a small leverage account, 1:10, remember I said I would have gotten a margin call long ago, and I couldn't have been able to open this position. I wouldn't have wanted to open this position, in fact, because it would take my margin level below 100. That is one thing. So leverage can help, but I don't use all the leverage. I cannot use all the possible amount I can use to open positions, because if I do so, it means I can go out of the trade quickly, or have a stop out quickly before my trade goes to the take profit level. So that is another thing. How leverage also affects your trading is that it can, like we say, increase your margin level. So that is it. So I hope we understand what leverage is. We say once again that it is how much more of your capital you can use to trade. How much more of your capital that you can use to trade or open new positions. So that is it. That's what leverage is. It can be good if you use it well. It can also work against you if you use it badly. Whatever you are doing in Forex, make sure that your margin for each position does not cost you more than 1% of your capital, and your stop loss is calculated also not to cost you more than 2%. So for a trade, you are risking not more than 3% for each trade. So whatever your leverage is, use it wisely. So whatever questions and comments you have, you can also drop in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe and like, as I'll be posting more educational videos and strategies from which you can get more knowledge about Forex, and from which we can get more profits. Thank you, and see you next time.